everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. Welcome to an evening of intention. I'm Shirley Plant, and joining me is Lori Chamberlain. Welcome, Lori.
Thanks very much, Shirley.
So I met Lori at a holistic nutrition event, and she was talking about intention and intention bracelets. And I just thought that would make for such an interesting discussion. And so hence, here she is on this live Q&A, which we are recording because we're going to send it out because so many people are busy. And as Lori said earlier, then you can just listen to it whenever you like. So I'd like to just introduce Lori and tell you a little bit about her. She's been practicing and teaching a variety of relaxation techniques since 1985. She's the founder of Balance Relaxation Therapy and creator of Take the Journey, an exploration of yoga and Ayurveda-based self-care practices, and the CD Yoga Nidra, the sleep of self-discovery. She holds a degree in recreation and is a certified Ayurvedic yoga specialist, relaxation therapist, and reflexologist. Lori teaches Ayurveda mind-body healing at the Institute of Holistic Nutrition's Ottawa campus. So welcome, Lori. Let's talk intention. I think it's a big word. It's a powerful word. Do you want to start with intention, or do you want to start with, what is an intention bracelet?
Well, starting with intention might be really neat to do. It's one of my favorite topics, and it's super important because it sort of sets our path for us. And the reason why I came up with this tool, intention bracelet, is because a lot of us sort of get taken down that path of what's called in the world of psychology negative automatic thoughts. We've all done it. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough. I'm experiencing it right now. In fact, myself, I'm really having to put these tools into practice. Wow. My daughter is just in the middle of the end of her very first love, and it's a painful process. And, the tendency is to go into that fear place. And so I've got thoughts running through my head like, oh my God, I wonder how she's going to cope. Is she going to be okay? I can't stand to see her in pain. What if she can't sleep or eat? And, those kinds of thoughts, you can imagine what they do to me. I'm the one not eating or sleeping as a first-time mother. So there needs to be a way to kind of interrupt that process. It's not that we want to shut our feelings down. That's not what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do, though, is not ruminate on feelings that trigger the stress response. When we have thoughts like that, it triggers the stress response just the same way as a car about to hit you does. Exact same way. So working with positive intentions just helps to kind of reframe the thinking process so that instead of having thoughts that trigger that stress response, we train ourselves to have thoughts that empower us and help us shift into a more calm, centered, focused state of mind.
Oh, and that just sounds so easy, but it's not.
It isn't. It's a discipline and it's a practice, just like anything else is. That's where the bracelets come into play. They are basically a meditation tool, and you kind of flashed one up there on the screen. So they're basically just a set of beads that encompasses a whole bunch of really cool design. But the whole point is that it makes, what we're talking about here is meditating. We're meditating on an intention, a positive intention. And the bracelet is simply a tool to help you do that. So you basically set an intention, you decide what you're going to say, and the whole sort of thing about intention, there's a way to say them and to create them that makes them powerful. So once you've set your intention, then you use the bracelet, just like a rosary. So you're literally just going from bead to bead to bead, repeating your intention. And so it just helps to literally change the pathways in your brain from automatically going into those scary, fear-inducing thoughts to ones that can send you to a place where you're feeling more empowered and hopeful and positive.
And, the beads, themselves, I'm wondering, is there a significance of the beads, the color, the shape, why beads? Is there something there?
Yes, there is a whole bunch. The bracelet, I designed the bracelet based on an ancient science of healing called Ayurveda. It's the sister science to yoga, and is just an ancient system of well-being. And it's based on this principle that everything in the universe, including us, is made up of 5 basic elements: air, earth, fire, water, space. And so each one of us has our own kind of elemental configuration. Each one of us has our own sort of set of air, earth, fire, water, space that predetermines our sort of emotional tendencies, our physiological tendencies. And according to Ayurveda, we can sort of get elemental overload sometimes. And that, if left unchecked, leads to conditions that are going to be uncomfortable for us. Mm-hmm. So, for example, the element of air is very light and subtle. And if we get this accumulation of air, we might notice things like very light sleeping, in fact, bordering on, or if not complete, insomnia. Yeah. Whereas an overload of earth, earth has the quality of being heavy and static. And so if we get an overload of the earth element, we might find ourselves feeling depressed or maybe gaining weight. So the bracelets take into account that science of health and healing and well-being. And I've worked that into the design of the bracelets. So the stones, they're made with, there's 9 different versions of the bracelet, and they're made with different stones. And the stones have an elemental configuration as well. Okay. So amethyst here is a stone that most of us are familiar with, and it embodies the air element. Oh. So it's really helpful for people that have too much of that earth static quality. We would then suggest try amethyst to help lighten you up a little bit. Mm-hmm. And carnelian's a stone of fire. So, if you're feeling stuck, then this stone can help you get moving again and move forward with confidence. And aventurine is an earth-based stone, and it can help you stay grounded and steady and focused. So the stones have their own elemental configuration. And so what we do is we work with stones that are opposite of the overload that you have to help bring you into balance.
And you have a question. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's okay. So there's everything about the bracelets is intentional. Okay. So there's wooden beads as well. Yes. And the wooden beads are sandalwood. Sandalwood is revered in India and other places as well because it has a natural scent, which helps to...
Oh, yeah. I never noticed that.
Yeah, so it basically induces a state of meditation before you've even actually done anything.
Wow.
And then, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but one of the little beads here has a symbol on it as well. So the aventurine, which is an earth stone, has a little hand. I would burn these in with a wood burning tool. And it's a symbol of a tree that represents the earth element. Even the metal pieces on here have significance. So the metal is either cooling or warming. So again, just has a balancing property for the wearer. And then the final thing that's really cool is the numerical configuration. There's 27 beads on the bracelets. And that relates to the points on the body that are often referred to as gateways to the body's inner pharmacy. And so each bead represents one of those points. And so when you're doing your meditation, using your bracelet, you're actually embodying the intention that you've set. Very powerful stuff.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
And I know certainly for me, when I met you and, you had all these, as you said, there's 9, right? Different bracelets with the different beads. And it was really interesting how I gravitated to a certain bracelet. But then you asked me, to do this questionnaire that you gave me, which I found fascinating, which is really a dosha quiz, isn't it? Did we lose you?
Oh,
There we
Yeah,
go.
I think I'm here still. There we go.
Yeah,
I was getting a
go.
bunch of weird sounds, but I
Right.
can hear myself now.
Okay, good.
Have you still?
No, I'm
Okay.
here. I'm here. You still can hear me?
Yeah, we're all good.
Good, perfect. So, yeah, so you gave me this quiz to do because really I gravitated to a certain bracelet, but as you said, we really want to know which bracelet is for us. And so there's a quiz for people to take. And it was interesting that the two that I gravitated to, then once I took the quiz, it told me really which bracelet was for me.
Yeah, that's the fun part about these bracelets is
It
the
was so
picking out
fun.
process. Yeah, yeah. So I usually use give people the option of choosing the bracelet in a number of different ways. One is you can literally just look at the bracelets and see which one you're drawn to, just like you did, because I believe our intuition is really strong and we'll often be drawn to things that we need when we need them. And so that's one way. And then another way is to actually, I've got cards that come with the bracelets and it describes what the stone's properties are. So you can actually just read through the descriptions and see what resonates for you. And then the third way is to actually do that quiz. And that, again, is based on this ancient science called Ayurveda. And so you do the quiz, and there's a quiz key, and it tells you which, there's more than just one stone will work for you. And so it gives you a chance to kind of choose between the stones that are suggested. And the really cool thing when I do this in live workshops is that often there's a correspondence. No matter what way you choose, you often will get the same stone.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So let's talk about intention. How does focusing on an intention help us?
Well, I think, again, it literally is like when we get into habitual ways of thinking, it wears a literal groove in our brains. It's like these, they're called neural networks. So we have nerve cells, and when they're fired, the next time we have a trigger, it automatically goes down that pathway. And so what we're doing by setting positive intentions is we're just kind of changing the path that our brain wants to automatically take when we have a trigger. So instead of automatically going down that path of doom and gloom, if that happens to be our habit, we can train our brain and literally grow new pathways, set new pathways in our brain. There's something called neuroplasticity that talks about that we can actually grow new nerve cells and new brain cells, basically. And so that's a really hopeful new discovery in the world of science, because we used to think that our brain was just kind of static. Once it was set, there was no changing it. But now we know we can actually, even if you're the worst pessimist in the world, you can actually train yourself to be more optimistic. And we know from studies that being more optimistic generally makes you feel better, makes you have less problems with challenges in life. You're more resilient to stress and just to have better overall stress resilience.
So how would we come up with an intention? I mean, is it as simple as putting a sentence together? Is there a certain way?
Yeah, and there is definitely a certain way. There's, on my website with the bracelets, it's a whole package. It's not just the bracelet. It comes with a bunch of supporting tools. And one of those tools is kind of like a worksheet that tells you how to write your own intentions. The bracelets also come with suggested intentions as well. But intentions need to be written in the present tense, like it's already happening, in a short, succinct kind of sentence that's worded in positive language. So, for example, you wouldn't say something like, "I'm not afraid." You would say instead, "I am courageous."
Okay. Or "I am beautiful."
Yes, exactly. I accept myself fully and completely.
Right. Okay. All right. Good to know. So let's talk about meditating, because you mentioned that intention and meditating went hand in hand. And I think a lot of people have trouble meditating, or they think, oh, I don't know, this intention thing, if I've got to meditate, I don't know. So maybe we can talk a little bit. How does this help us with our intention?
Well, yeah, meditation is not easy. Anybody who tells you that it is, I think, not being honest. So meditation, our minds are busy. They're distracted. It's just the nature of the mind. But what we can do is, the way the bracelets help is it's something tangible. You're actually touching on something. So it's a kind of like beginner meditation, if you will. It's a really good place to start. So it's a matter of sort of setting yourself up for success. And the reason why I developed this program in the first place is just because of that. I would get a lot of people that I see as clients, and I would say, if you could, meditation would probably be super helpful for you. It reduces depression, it reduces anxiety, it reduces any kind of stress-related illness. So generally a good thing for everybody to be doing. And that's the response I would get a lot is, oh my God, there's no way I can meditate. My brain is like a 6-8 week old fox terrier, it's just never stops. And of course, that's the way the brain is. And, often people have the belief that when we meditate, we're trying to actually stop our thoughts or to empty our minds. And in fact, that's not what we're trying to do at all.
Right.
We're just trying to find a way to lose the hook. Lose that hook between our thoughts and the physiological response we have in our bodies. So the idea is really just it's okay to feel. We all have feelings, and we need to, I think, stop labeling them as bad or good. They're just part of the spectrum of being human.
Right.
And, but we don't want to get ourselves to a place where we're constantly triggering the stress response, because we know that stress leads to disease.
Right.
Yeah. So I really just developed the whole program to help people sort of get past that hurdle of, I can't meditate. So right away, there's a kind of groove that we've already set for ourselves, right? Saying we can't do something.
Right. But what I found, I've been meditating for years, and I agree with you, it's certainly not easy. It's different every day. But what I find with this bracelet is it's almost like another avenue. So, I can do my same meditation, whether it's a mantra or whatever, a relaxation. But then this adds in another one that I can do, and that, as you say, it doesn't need to take long. So let's talk about that. How often would you do an intention? Like, let's say you had the bracelet and you wanted to do intention. And how long would you spend? Would you do it 3 times, once, that kind of thing?
So, if you were working with a guru, they would have literally a prescription of how many times you should say your mantra. And this is actually based on an ancient practice called japa meditation. It's actually a practice that's been used for years, and it's mantra meditation. You're basically meditating on a mantra.
Right.
Often the mantra is in Sanskrit, like Om Namah Shiva, or, the Om is even one, Shanti, Shanti, Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. All of those are sort of classic Sanskrit mantras. But I find, I'm working with people that aren't necessarily yogis.
Right.
And so the Sanskrit's not going to resonate with them. So that's why I opted for just choosing intentions worded in the English language for starters. It's just getting people started. But as far as how long, it really is up to you. I personally believe that it's really important to have a daily practice of some sort, just so that you can land somewhere every day. And, depending on the type of person you are, those of us that have a lot of the air and space elements are going to need to we're flighty by nature. We're doing 100 different things, and we get easily knocked out of routine. So we need to set ourselves a regular time, a regular place, and just have a routine around meditation. But classically, there's certain times of the day that are more conducive to meditation. Early morning is one of them.
Yes, right.
And it sort of allows you to then get off on the right foot, per se. You sit in meditation, maybe you do a few yoga postures, you sit with your breath. If you're having if you've got yourself in one of those ruts where you've got images, or, you're telling yourself something over and over and over again, and you're feeling stressed because of what you're thinking, then you want to just allow yourself to sit and breathe into it. you know, dropping the story, but honoring the feeling, the emotion. So, you know, if you've got a thought going on like, oh my God, she's never going to recover from this. Oh, what am I going to do? I can't protect her. Then you need to drop the story and focus on what is the feeling. I'm afraid. I'm fearful. And so you just honor that. You breathe into it for, you know, as long as you have. You know, everybody's going to be different, but you just stay with that feeling without the story. Do a little bit of breathing, and then you'll feel that really strong hook to the thought get out of your gut or wherever it happens to be lodged. And it's almost like mist rising up off a lake. It starts to diffuse a little bit.
Okay.
And then you basically drop the breath after that. You let it take on its own effortless rhythm. And that's when you then do your meditation with the beads. You take your bracelet and you have your intention already in your mind. And then you can do one round. So it's just going around the bracelet once. It might take you a minute. Depends on how long your intention is. But ideally, if you wanted to do a full classic round, it would be you're repeating your intention 108 times. Okay. So 27 goes into 108 4 times.
Right.
So basically you would do 4 rounds on your bracelet.
Okay. So let's say, so you were talking about fear, afraid. Let's say someone is having a stressful day. They are afraid and they say, okay, you know, I'm going to take my intention bracelet and I'm going to create an intention. So what would be an intention then for that? Let's say, and let's take you know, I'm afraid my daughter's not going to get over this. Yeah. Or I'm really stressed about whatever's happening at work.
Yeah.
How would we then create an intention and then show us how we would then proceed?
Okay, so you basically have to sort of dig under what's happening and figure out for yourself, what is the fear? What am I afraid of? So how do I want to be and why am I not that way? So if you look at what the fear is, so I'm afraid my daughter can't handle this situation, for example. So that's not helpful to me or her or anybody else. What is helpful for me to say to myself is I know that she's confident and capable.
Okay.
And so that's how I would change my brain, is instead of wearing this really deep groove, it's called a samskara in the world of yoga and Ayurveda. It literally is like an LP, like an album, going around that track. And the more it goes around that track, the deeper that groove goes and the harder it is to get out of it. So the first step is actually catching yourself doing that.
Right.
And then the second step is getting under what is the emotion here.
Okay.
The third step is just breathing into it, letting it diffuse. And then we want to retrain our brain. And that's where we would say, my daughter's capable and confident. My daughter's capable and confident. So instead of
that's the intention that you would say, that's the phrase, the mantra.
Yeah.
Or I am confident and.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So whatever it is, you know, let's say you're at work and you've got a great big deadline coming up and you're going, oh my God, I don't think I have enough time for this. There's no way I can make this. There's no frigging way. My boss is going to come in. I'm going to get fired any second. So, you know, those thoughts are the part of your brain that's working there is the amygdala. It is like just fight or flight. Yeah. And so your cognitive part of your brain can't function in that state of mind. So it's not helpful to be thinking those thoughts at all. You can say to yourself, I have all the time I need. It may not be the exact truth, but it's still going to be helpful because the other thoughts are just going to make it more unlikely that you'll get the report finished.
Right. Okay.
Whereas if you say I have all the time I need, that then allows the thinking part of your brain to actually think instead of your just reactive part of your brain to make you run or freeze or fight.
So then you'd begin, as you said, with some meditation, some deep breaths, and then you would take your bracelet
Yeah, so it is, maybe we can end off here with just a really short practice so you can
Sure.
actually get a feel for it.
Yeah.
Um, and it is coming up to summer solstice.
Mm.
And, that's the longest day of the year where we have a lot of sunlight. And this longer period of sunlight allows us to tap into that part of ourself that is empowering, our solar plexus chakra. So do you want to just do like a maybe not
Sure.
even 5-minute practice?
Sure.
Okay, so if you're listening at home, you can actually do this along with us. It doesn't matter if you don't have a bracelet yet, you can just basically repeat this phrase. Now you would have your own intention. It may not be, this one may not resonate for you. And that's the beauty of, you can write your own intention, or there's gazillions of them out there. Louise Hay, Doreen Virtue all write really great intentions, and there's a lot that come with the package. So let's just start by, let's just do one yoga posture. You'd likely do a few more yoga postures, and the video that comes with the intention bracelet package has 5 or 6 postures that you'd be doing.
And they're easy, and I can say that they're easy. They're wonderful to be able to do.
Yes.
I thoroughly enjoy them. Yeah.
Yeah. So anybody can do them. So let's just let's take ourselves to standing. We won't, because you won't be able to see us on screen.
I'm sitting straight in my core chair. Okay.
We're sitting in our chair. We're doing mountain pose in our chairs. So if you're sitting, that's fine too. Feet are grounded down, and sitting bones grounding down to the chair. Or if you're standing with a long, tall, straight spine, feet grounding down to earth, and the crown of the head reaching up for the sky. And take a moment there to connect with your breath. You want to inhale and exhale through the nose, feeling the belly expand on the inhale and soften back towards the spine on the exhale. And then we'll add a little bit of movement to that. So as you inhale, let your arms reach up overhead. And as you exhale, let the arms come back down by your sides. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, arms float up over the head. And exhale, hands come back down by your side. 1 more time. Inhaling, arms come up overhead. And exhaling, arms come down. And then take the hands to the area just above the belly button. Feet are still flat on the floor. And just feel into that center, that energy center called the solar plexus chakra, or energy center. And this is the center where we can tap into our own place of power. It's like our inner radiance, our inner sun, our inner fire. Breathing into that place, feeling your stomach expand against your hands on the inhale and soften back towards your spine on the exhale. And here's where, if you are experiencing strong emotions with those thoughts and you've got that sort of hook, it's called Shenpa in the world of Buddhism. If you've got that hooked thought, you're basically going to let go of the story, and you're going to just think about what is the feeling, what is the emotion. And you're going to just honor that for a few breaths, feeling it dissolve away like mist rising up off a lake first thing in the morning. And you might, at this point, feel yourself running back into the story. Each time you do, have compassion and patience for yourself, and keep on coming back to the breath and just letting the feeling be, whatever it is. And once you feel complete enough with that, let the breath become effortless. You just let it go. And then you would take your intention bracelet, and you start at there's a bigger bead, and you basically start your practice at the bead just after the big one. And you're just kind of putting your fingernail in between the beads, And so you're just sitting there, and I'm not going to go into the details of how you hold it or anything. You can check out the video and learn that. So you would start, let's just use the intention, I'm now taking action on my dreams. So you would start at that first bead, and let's just do one round together. It'll literally only take a couple of minutes. So we can say it out loud together. I'm now taking action on my dreams. I'm now taking action on my dreams. And you're just moving from bead to bead. I'm pulling the bracelet towards you. I'm now taking action on my dreams. 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 And we're going to continue in silence for the next little bit. So just continue along, saying that phrase in your mind over and over. If you get distracted away, just gently bring yourself back to your mantra. The more practice you have, the more focused you'll be able to be. But especially in the beginning or in particularly hard times, be compassionate with yourself and just gently keep coming back to your mantra. Once you come all the way around, you'll come back to that bigger bead, and you stop there and take a moment of gratitude. So just saying thank you, knowing your intention is already set in motion. And that's really how simple it is. It's just that.
Just that simple, yeah.
Yeah, and so that practice of relaxing, breathing, repetition, and gratitude is that combination that helps us to get through challenging times in life. And the one thing that we can guarantee is there will be challenging times. And what we can also guarantee is that we can build our resilience to allow us to get through those challenging times with more ease.
And would you use the same intention every day, or do you come up with different ones? Or let's say, how often then would you do that same intention?
That's a great question, Shirley. So there's kind of two schools of thought on that. Some people say stick with the same intention for maybe 6 to 18 months until you have a sign that there's some change happening in your life.
Shift.
Yeah, some shift, however subtle it is. And other schools say, just kind of wake up, tune into how you're feeling, see what's going on for yourself that day, and maybe pick an intention based on how you're feeling on that particular day.
Okay.
My own experience with it is I tend to like to stick with the same intention because, it's taken a while to wear those grooves into my brain. So it realistically usually takes a little while to create a new path.
Right. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to just open it up. We'll just see if there's any questions. You can certainly write it in the chat box if you have any questions. I'll also take everybody just off mute too, so that if you have a question for Lori, feel free to type in the chat box, which is at the bottom of your screen. Yeah. Feel free to ask any questions. And then I think Lori is also going to let us know, where you can find all this great information, her website.
Yeah, maybe I can go ahead and do that now while we're waiting to see if we have some questions. We might have a shy crowd here tonight, which is totally okay. So you can basically get everything you need to know about intention bracelets and how to get them and everything that comes with them at my website, which is www.balancerelaxationtherapy.com/intention.
Repeat that again for me.
So www.balancerelaxationtherapy.
Balance, relaxation. Yep.
.com.
Yep.
/intention.
Okay, so I'm just going to put that up for everyone. There it is.
That's great. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, and so they're available. You can purchase them online at Etsy. I have an Etsy store, which is kind of nice because you can go through and you can read the short little description about each of the bracelets and then make your choice based on that. On my website, you can also do that Ayurvedic quiz online. Well, you have to download it. It's not an online quiz yet. And you can just find out a little bit more about what the other things that come with the package, including the video and these worksheets that help you write your own intention. And you can also buy them here in Ottawa. There's a couple of stores that carry them. Magpie Jewelry in Westboro and Magpie Jewelry in the Rideau Centre both carry intention bracelets.
Okay.
And Singing Pebble Books on Main Street also carries them. And I do workshops fairly frequently at Singing Pebble Books, including a full workshop on this, where we go into a bit more detail. Yeah.
Good to know. And I think you were going to offer a special.
I was, yeah. So what I'll do, Shirley, is I'll give you a promotion code. I'll just, right after this, I'll send it to you. I forgot to do that today. Sorry about that. So I'll send a promotion code to Shirley, who will distribute it to anybody out there listening to this talk. And so all you'll do is you'll go to Etsy, make a purchase, and then there's a place where you can put in a promotion code, and that will give you 15% off.
Oh, that's great. As I said, you know, I love this because it's another avenue, and for me, certainly, as you say, those patterns in our brain get so etched, and before you even know you're going down that road, you're already there. Yeah. You know, and I know you're dealing with your daughter, and, you know, I've been having some issues. My father is aging, and it's, you know, you just go down that and this has been, Lori, so helpful for me because, you know, it's another tool. It's like a tool in our toolbox. We have relaxation, we have yoga, we have meditation, whatever it may be for you. Maybe you're a runner, whatever. I go for walks in the park with my dog. But this is another tool, which is just so wonderful because, as you say, stuff is going to happen. Stress is going to hit us. So we want, you know, illness is there, whatever it may be. It's great to have these ways of de-stressing, of putting a positive intention out there, which I just love. So thank you so much for being here. I don't think we have any. Are there any questions from anybody? I don't see anything in the chat box. Nope. And anyway, certainly people can email you. We know that. They can go onto your website and email you any questions for Lori.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually do a 30-minute free consultation. You can either make an appointment to come in. So you basically just can book online. You'll see the book online button on my website, and you just choose free consultation out of the drop-down menu for options. And you can come in and go through the process of choosing a bracelet if you'd like to do that. Or if you just have questions, no problem. Just shoot me an email is usually the best way, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Do you do those consults online as well if people are not in Ottawa?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can do them online, no problem.
Great. Okay, well, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Oh, I've got from Monique to everyone. Just wanted to say thank you to the both of you very much for this wonderful information. You're so welcome, Monique. I'm so glad you came tonight, and thank you for being on my list. Yes, so thank you, Lori, and good luck, everyone, with your positive intentions.
Thanks so much, and thanks, Monique, and very nice to be here tonight. Thanks so much, Shirley.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye for now.